Hello students, welcome to a video lecture on economic development and entrepreneurial growth as part of Entrepreneurial Development Unit 5. This is Vidya, Assistant Professor of Computer Science Department, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. So entrepreneurs play their role in different capacities such as being innovators or generators of employment opportunities, or they develop the economy of a country. So being an innovator, entrepreneur performs a variety of the following functions. The first one is they introduce new combination. So as an innovator, entrepreneur brings out new products, new techniques of production. They can open a new market, find out new sources of raw materials, or a new type of organization, and so on. So all these will result in growth and development of a country's economy through increased supply of products, savings in production cost, and so on. The second is enabling progress in technology. So entrepreneurs make use of potential technical knowledge which enable continuous technological process. So this removes diminishing returns because technological progress will lead to innovation, which consequently will result in steady increase in total output. Next one is it aims at leadership. So a successful innovation will aim at leadership because leadership is one of the most important or logical attribute of entrepreneur to bring about economic development in a country. Last one is implement skills. I'm sorry. Entrepreneur, they make use of conceptual skills to bring about improvement in the quality of the product. This is a continuous function. There's no end to it. So in this world of competition, innovative entrepreneur alone can survive. Next, we're going to see about the role of entrepreneurs in generating employment opportunities. So, obviously, entrepreneurs play a significant role. A development strategy of a country, especially our country, they confront two important problems. One is unemployment, and the one is poverty. So, these problems can be minimized by activating human potentials through entrepreneurship, and for reduction of unemployment, entrepreneurship should be introduced or is imperatively needed in small and tiny sector industries. So the role of entrepreneur and its significance in generation of employment opportunities can be depicted under the following heads. First one is establishing tiny, micro and small scale enterprises. So creation of such tiny, micro and small enterprises by entrepreneurs can lead to creation of both self-employment and wage employment opportunities, thereby solving the problem of unemployment in the country. Next is giving emphasis or importance upon village and cottage industry. So upliftment of economically backward sections such as village of the society can be possible if self-employment opportunities can be provided or introduced at grassroots level. So to enable this, government has implemented several anti-poverty programs like PMRY, TRISAM, SGSY, and the importance of entrepreneurs in cottage and village industry sectors has been clearly acknowledged by Mahatma Gandhi by his policy priorities in village upliftment. So, entrepreneur can play a significant role in setting up and reviving the cottage and village industries, thereby creating employment opportunities to a large number of people living in rural areas. Next is utilizing the surplus labor force in industrial activities. So India is a primary producing country. So this is further accentuated by seasonality feature of the agriculture. So due to the seasonality feature, for a larger part of the year, people remain more unemployed. So this is like disguised unemployment. So they are unemployed at the same time unemployed as well. So this is like a chronic phenomenon in agriculture wherein more people work in a field than actually required. So the surplus labor force is transferred and utilized by the entrepreneurs in non-farm sector like small tiny cottage industries which are labor intensive in nature. We'll see about the growth strategies that is adopted by business firms. So they are broadly classified into two types, namely internal strategies and external strategies. And again, the internal strategies fall into expansion and diversification. And external strategies, there are three types: joint venture, merger, and subcontracting. We'll just see one by one. So the first one is internal strategies. This refers to the strategies that are followed by the enterprises on their own without involving other enterprises. That is, they grow on their own. Examples is expansion and diversification. First one is expansion. This is one of the means of internal growth strategies. This refers to increase in the same line of activity. So it is a natural growth of business taking place in course of time. And this can be done by expansion through penetrating the market or expansion through development of the same product. Second one is diversification. This is another form through which firms grow internally. Expansion is followed up to a limit extent, but diversification is evolved to grow further. So in expansion, firms concentrate on the existing product only where growing is possible only to a certain point. Uh, so this necessitates the need for adding new products or markets. So this is where diversification comes in. And diversification is done as four types: horizontal, vertical, concentric, and conglomerate diversification. Next strategy is external strategy. They are opposite to internal strategies. So these strategies are adopted involving other enterprises also. So the popular forms are as below. First one is joint venture. It is a temporary partnership between two or more firms to undertake jointly to complete a specific venture. So the parties entering the venture by means of an agreement are known as co-ventures. The agreement entered will come to an end on the completion of the work for which it was formed. And they will either share the profits or losses equally or on agreed ratio. A second one is merger. This refers to combination of two or more existing enterprises into one, and it may take place in two ways, namely absorption and amalgamation. That is, if one enterprise is acquired by another, it is called absorption. If two or more enterprises join into one to form a new concern, this is called as amalgamation. And like diversification, merger is also four types: horizontal, vertical, concentric, and conglomerate. And the last one is subcontracting. This refers to a mutually beneficial commercial relationship between two companies. So here contractor places order with subcontractor for the production of parts, components, assemblies to be incorporated into a product. So subcontractor produces accordingly and supplies the same. So in large scale industries, subcontracting is common because they do not produce all goods on their own. And subcontracting is of two types. First one is industrial subcontracting, the other one is commercial. Entrepreneurship does not emerge and grow spontaneously. So it is dependent on some factors that affect the entrepreneur's growth. So let's see one by one. The first one is economic factor. So economic environment is perhaps the most direct and immediate influence on entrepreneurship. It has some conditions which are follows. First one is market. The size and composition of market influences entrepreneurship in their own ways. Next one is capital. Availability of capital help to bring together the labor and the machine required to produce the raw material to combine and produce a product. Next is labor. This is the most important factor of economic condition of entrepreneurship. So there might be some labor problems which cannot protect in entrepreneurship from emerging. Next one is raw materials. So without raw materials, obviously business cannot be started because production is not possible. Next is industrial policy. This includes rules and incentives. And the last one is fiscal policy. It includes taxes. So the second factor is social factor. Social environment in a country exercises a significant impact on the emergence of entrepreneurship. So the main components are social mobility. So this means the people of society transfers from one place to another to exchange culture, attitude, etc. So if mobility is positive, then growth is also positive. Second one is security. So entrepreneurship security is an important facilitator of entrepreneurial behavior. Insecurity doesn't hinder entrepreneurship, but rather different kinds of insecurity will result in different kinds of entrepreneurship. Next is legitimacy of entrepreneurship. So illegal activities are not allowed in business as well as entrepreneurship. So high degree of legitimacy support is required to start your business. So the third factor is political factor. This is also an important factor. So a country's economic growth depends on its political factors. They are as follows. The first one is political stability. Next is political ideology. So political ideology is favorable to business growth, then entrepreneurship takes new initiative from business. Next is nature of change in political ideology. So due to change of government, the political ideology also changes again and again, and as a result, new sectors arise by declining the previous sectors. So the fourth factor is psychological factors. So many entrepreneurial theorists have propounded theories of entrepreneurship that concentrate especially on psychological factors. So the factors are need for achievement. So need for achievement motivate to enhance business tasks for success. So this is the psychological power. Next one is perception and motivation. So this eternally supports entrepreneurial behavior with positive forces to enter into business. Next one is learning and personality. So more learning about business increases business efficiency. So you have to keep on learning. You should not say that I have stopped. I mean, I have learned everything. So that is not possible. So the more you learn, the more you can increase the business efficiency. So and the last one is legal factors. So this means country's law and order situation. So various types of legal factors are income tax, labor, and wage law. Next topic is franchising. Franchising is defined as a form of business ownership by contract, whereby a company grants a buyer the right to engage in selling and distributing its products or services under a prescribed business format in exchange for royalties or share or profits. So there are basically three types. So the first one is product franchising. This is one of the most oldest type of franchising. So here a franchisor gives right to produce and distribute his trademarked goods to a franchisee for a prescribed fee. So this is commonly found in petroleum and automobile industries. So you can, if you are a franchisee, so you can produce and distribute the trademarked goods. So you cannot produce goods on your own. So this is like this is product franchising. So second type is manufacturing franchising. So this is an arrangement whereby franchisor gives the dealer the exclusive right to produce and distribute the product in a particular locality. This is commonly found in soft drink industries. So the third is business format franchising. So this is of recent type of franchising and it has attained popularity in recent years. So here under a wide range of services is offered to the franchisee and the franchisor is obligated to maintain continuing interest in the business of the franchisee, particularly in the areas known as know-how and training. So he has to keep on training and he has to keep up to date about the know-how, how to do certain stuffs in your business, and the franchisee will invest substantial funds from his own source. So those are the three types of franchising. There's no doubt that franchising is a proven and complete business concept. So, to become successful in franchising, one should work hard, expect anything realistically, and conduct investigations. So, this necessitates the evaluation of franchising agreement. So, how do you evaluate? We evaluate from the angle of each of one of them as mentioned below. The first one is franchisee. So, if you are going to get a franchising from some company, so you are the franchisee and that particular company will be the franchisor. So franchisee, in order to become successful in his venture, must be willing to work long hours, work hard, and face personal sacrifice. So he should know how to enjoy working with others. He should be a good supervisor and an organized person. He should have the ability to accept orders. So to sum up, he must be a fine blend of entrepreneur as well as a corporate manager. And a franchisee's background is also has its own place in making a franchisee arrangement a successful one. He should know well about the proposed business. Second one is industry. So the second factor is selecting the industry for franchise business. So while selecting the industry, the following aspects should be given importance. First one is industry's dominant economic characteristics, that is the size, growth rate, number of competitors, etc. Then the nature of competition, that is the major forces affecting the industry, and whether any substitute products are being marketed. So these factors you have to consider before selecting the industry that you want to franchise on. And the third one is of course the franchisor. So franchisors' honesty, integrity, sincerity, etc. are to be carefully analyzed before selecting him as your franchisor. This is because franchisor and franchisee's relationship should be smooth, cordial, and understandable. So the next topic is women entrepreneurs. So the definition, they can be defined as a woman or group of women who take initiative to set up a business enterprise and run it smoothly. So also women who innovate, imitate or adopt a business activity are known as women entrepreneurs. So these are some of the promotional schemes available in India for development of women entrepreneurship. The first one is Development of Women and Children in Rural Areas, DWCRA. So this is a scheme introduced by Government of India for encouragement of women entrepreneurship. Because generally a woman is unable to start a venture for various reasons. So the concept of teamwork is introduced here to make them courageous enough to start their own enterprises. The second one is scheme of IDBI. Various schemes are designed by IDBI to assist women entrepreneurs. First one is Interest Subsidy Scheme. So IDBI provides training and post-training follow-up expenditure up to rupees 10,000. Successful trainees are eligible for interest subsidy for 1 year if they start small-scale units. Next one is Refinance Scheme. So IDBI extends refinance facilities to banks and state financial corporations for their credits to women entrepreneurs. Third one is Mahila Udyam Nidhi. So IDBI has set up a special fund called MUN with a corpus of rupees 5 crores in order to provide seed capital assistance to women entrepreneurs who propose to set up projects in SSI sectors. The fourth one is Mahila Vikas Nidhi, MVN. So this extends assistance to voluntary agencies that are engaged in extending to the entrepreneurs training in production methods, management and skill upgradation. Last one is indirect loans. IDBI has introduced another scheme under which it grants indirect loans. It is called indirect loans because loans are granted through state finance corporations and state industrial development corporation. So the third one is scheme of Karnataka SFC. Karnataka government provides 5% investment subsidy to the tiny and small scale units. Sales tax expansion is available for women enterprises up to 100% of the value of fixed assets for a period of 7 years. So the fourth one is scheme of IFCI, Industrial Finance Corporation of India. They grant interest subsidy up to rupees 20,000 to industrial units set up by women entrepreneurs. Fifth one is Rajasthan Financial Corporation Scheme. So in order to promote enterprises by women entrepreneurs, RFC grants loan up to 10 lakhs and contribution towards share capital by the entrepreneurs is 10% of the project cost. The sixth one is SBI Stree Shakti package. So SBI introduced this with a view to develop women entrepreneurs. So under the scheme, EDPs are exclusively designed for women entrepreneurs and are conducted, and they are organized with the help of SBI Staff Training College and local branches. The seventh one is SIDBI's Assistance for Women Entrepreneurs. So the Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI, they have designed special schemes for providing financial assistance to women entrepreneurs. So these schemes aim at following objectives, that is provide training and extension services according to small socio-economic status, and they also provide financial assistance in concessional terms to help them in setting up tiny and small units. And the eighth one, last one, is Bank of India Priyadarshini Yojana. So this scheme aims at providing financial assistance to women entrepreneurs who comes under following categories. The first one is small business. That is if they want to set up a beauty parlor, launder, library, laundry, etc. The second one is retail traders. That is the supermarkets, general stores, etc. The third one is road transport operators. Example, auto rickshaws. And the last one is agricultural activities. So next we are going to see some of the problems that are faced by women entrepreneurs. The first one is problem of finance. So the main challenge which women entrepreneurs face is getting the funding they need to start and grow their businesses. So access to capital is a serious issue for minority and women entrepreneurs. Second one is conflict between work and family. So this is like being an entrepreneur, we might have to dedicate ourselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So running a successful business is like you have to find a healthy balance between your work and your family. The third one is shortage of raw materials because they suffer from high prices and lower discount rates. So this is another problem that they're facing. The fourth one is stiff competition. Women entrepreneurs face intense competition for their goods from organized sectors and male entrepreneurs. This is because they do not have enough funds for advertisement, marketing, canvassing, and publicizing their products. So this is another problem. Fifth one is limited mobility. So mobility of women in our country is highly limited on account of various reasons. So they cannot travel freely from one place to another for business reasons. In order to set up an organization, an entrepreneur has to get sanctions at various levels from various government departments, all of which require free mobility. But this is not possible in India, so this is another problem for women entrepreneurs. The next problem is low literacy. That is, rate of literacy among women is very low in India. Education is important for a person to be aware of latest technology, business trends, market knowledge, etc. So this creates additional problem for women entrepreneurs in setting up and running business enterprises. Seventh one is male dominated society. Men in the society dominate the business world, and men in the families do not permit female members to start their ventures. So the reputation of family, the sense of prestige, etc., come to the forefront. So this acts another barrier for women entrepreneurship. Eighth one is lack of motivation. A fear of failure is too much in women than men. This fear creates no motivation in them. So lack of motivation is considered as another barrier which stands in the development of women entrepreneurs. Next is low achievement need. So need for achievement is the most important prerequisite for success in entrepreneurship, but this is lacking. So the urge to achieve is lacking here in our country among women especially. So this acts as another barrier. And the last one is low risk bearing capability. So generally women in India are confined to four walls of the house. So they are less educated and thus economically backward. So this reduces their risk bearing capability. So they will always hesitate to take the next step. They will not afford to take any risks while running the enterprise. So this is another barrier that most of the women entrepreneurs are facing. So that's the end of the session, guys. Hope you all liked it. Thank you so much.